Oi. G'day out there. Who have we got? Three people. Hello. G'day Josh, how are ya? Hello. XOXX. Thank you. Do you want some of your grass? Got a big armful of the green stuff for the wombat, which she'll be very happy about. Yeah. Five people out there. How are we all today? Oh, that sun's terrible. I'll stay in front of that for you. What do you reckon? You sit up here. You can have some of your grass. Good wombat. Four people. How is everybody? What's everybody up to today? I wasn't sure if we'd get anybody. It's still work hours for a lot of people here in Australia. G'day, Ultimate Cringy. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Yeah, it's still work hours here in Australia, and I imagine over the other side of the world it's the middle of the night. So, you know, all the people over in the States who have been so kind to watch us and subscribe to our channel wouldn't get to see much of us lately. Let's see if I can move that so we don't get it. Ooh, don't get so much sun. I don't know. So, what's everybody up to today? We're I actually got the afternoon off. We spent the day at an events forum talking to event organisers and the tourism committee and stuff for our local council, meeting some of the people we do displays for and people who might be interested. Oh gee, almost midnight. Where's that? Over in east coast of the United States? Taking a guess with my time zones. You should be in bed. What is it, Thursday night over there? Still. It's Friday night here, or Friday afternoon here, so we'll feed all the critters nice and early, and it'll be beer o'clock. Might even head down to the pub, who knows? It's my birthday, I've got to go to the pub. But yeah, so we spent the day at an events forum. They always do a bit of like social media marketing and stuff like that, all the boring side of running a business outside, all cuddles and patting wombats. We've got a West Coast, Oregon. Oh, so it'd be, what, like 3 a.m. or something over the East Coast. Yeah, so, you know, there's a lot of boring business side. There's no point in us making these videos if none of you guys get to see them. So, yeah, we go to a few of these seminars on Facebook marketing and whatnot. I'll nod my head and pretend I understand what's going on. Oh, we're down to 3 people. I'm boring yous. Sorry. But, you know, sometimes I feel bad. Some of you guys might get sick of seeing us on Facebook. I don't know. I know Josh follows us on Facebook, but I don't know how many other people do. But we're on there all the time. However, you know, it all boils down to one simple fact, and that is our goal is to teach as many people about wildlife as possible. And we can't do that unless we can reach as many people as possible. So, you know what? In a perfect world, I'd be chilling out with Boo the Wombat all day, every day. Look at that for a stunned face, eh? But, you know, it is what it is. We've got to get to you guys so you guys can help us spread our wildlife message. Who else is out there? 4 thumbs up already. Thank you very much, guys. Can't just talk to myself the whole time. Who have we got watching? Got old mate over from Oregon. I might, very slim chance, might be visiting the States in a couple of months' time. Who knows? Possibly going to California. Wait and see what pans out. Can't give away too much. But could be exciting. Thanks for all that we do. Oh, thank you for watching. Like I said, there's we'd probably be making these videos whether or not people watch, but the fact that people watch means that, you know, I can justify spending more time on it. People don't, it's easy, when I was just watching videos and not making them, it's easy to not realise how much goes into it, but every week there's about an hour researching a video, because, you know, I have I'd like to think I've got a pretty good general knowledge about the topics I talk about, but if I think I know something, I'm not going to say it on a video until I've double checked it, because I want to make sure that I'm bringing you guys the best information I can. So there's an hour researching a video, writing it up, usually an hour or so filming a video, and then an hour editing it. That's 3 hours every week that we put into our 5-minute little videos. So yeah, I'm glad you guys watch them. That's what it's all about. You know, hopefully you like them enough to share them with your mates and all that sort of thing. And if you're feeling particularly excited, you know, being my birthday and all, you might check us out on Patreon and help contribute. As far as what our next video comes up, I'm not sure. I've got quite a few videos on the cutting room floor. We've got one on the rufous betong, little macropod, long-nosed potoroos, got one on the coastal taipan, the southern brown bandicoot. Got a few of them that are films, just not cut into place and cleaned up. So it's a matter of which one I get to edit and put up first. And as always, once I do that, I usually try and get that up on our Patreon account, sort of the weekend. And then the following Wednesday, it goes live on YouTube for everybody else. So yeah, the next day or two, I'll have to figure out which video it is for this week. We're also going to be visiting Darwin. For those of you who don't know, we live down here in the cold end of Australia, down here in southern Victoria, and we're going to be going to Darwin in a couple of weeks, and hopefully tee up a few videos there. There'll be lots of topics to talk about with cane toads, and we might go on a jumping crocodile cruise and stuff like that. And I'd like to do one on, whether or not feeding crocodiles out of these cruise boats is a good idea or a bad idea. There's a lot of people who are pretty passionate, and understandably so, that you love that grass. Pretty passionate and understandably so, that check that out. She's not camera shy. That feeding these crocodiles might be teaching them to follow fishermen's boats and things like this. And there's some interesting sort of science that crocodiles have very specific, I suppose, memory or habits. In that one boat to them and another boat, it's as different as two different animals to them. So they're not going to have the same conditioned response to two different sized and types of vessels. So we'll be doing a talk on that if I can find the right crocodile jumping cruise to go on, because we're going to have a 1-year-old. Yeah, she's pretty cute. She's my firstborn daughter. You wishing me happy birthday? So, oh, you're a star. I've got to say, I love all the animals that I've got here, but Boo is probably the only one that loves me back. Boo and Aztec, the dingo, of course. For those of you who don't know, I work on a farm, so I've got a couple of working dogs who would work themselves to death for me. They adore me, but working mostly with reptiles. The reality is reptiles don't love us. They tolerate us. They can become comfortable with us. And that's in its own way quite an honor. They're a wild animal. There's millions of years of evolution telling them to be terrified of you. So yeah, your carpet python or your leopard gecko might not love you, but the fact he feels comfortable around you, considering everything that they're up against, evolutionarily speaking, is a pretty big honor nonetheless. But Boo, I'm pretty sure, thinks I'm mum. Yeah. On the topic of wombats, I don't know if you guys have seen on Boo's Facebook page. Boo has her own Facebook page, Boo the Wombat, for those guys. Thank you, Gay. How are you? Boo has her own Facebook page for those of you guys who want to keep updated with Boo specifically. On Boo's page today, we posted a link. In the last couple of days, there's been some few articles come out about another giant wombat called Diprotodont that was discovered locally decades ago, out in Naracoorte, an hour and a half from me. But they've found fossils of them up in the high country, up near Cooma. And we're talking about a wombat the size of a hippopotamus. G'day, awesome kitty cat. It's been a little while. I remember you hopping on some of our lives months ago. Mind you, I went a few months without doing lives. But yeah, thank you, Nicole. So yeah, imagine a wombat the size of a hippopotamus. I don't know if it would be an amazing animal or a terrifying animal to look at. You wouldn't want to hit it with your car, that's for sure. There is 7 people out there. Hello, everybody. But some of the amazing things about this Diprotodont, which interestingly, the name diprotodont just means 2 types of teeth. So even though Boo's not a diprotodont, we consider her a diprotodont. So there's the diprotodont family or species, which is this gigantic wombat. But all our marsupials are broken into 2 families. There's polyprotodonts, which means many type of teeth. So things like quolls, antechinus, basically all the meat and insect eaters. And then there's diprotodonts, things like wombats. They got the big incisors and they got molars. That's their only teeth, 2 types. So wombats, kangaroos, koalas, those sorts of things are diprotodonts. So she's a diprotodont. She's not just not the diprotodont. Confusing. They should have come up with a better name. But you know, as cool as this animal seems, it's easy to think, you know, thousands of years ago it's extinct. It was here up until 4,000 years ago. Now, that was human beings were here in Australia at that time. So, you know, we think about the Ice Age over in on the movie Ice Age, dopey sloths and saber-toothed tigers, but people in Australia lived alongside wombats the size of hippos, the marsupial lion, who had the highest bite force of any mammalian carnivore ever recorded, megalania, a 6 to 7 meter long. Imagine 2 Komodo dragons strapped together on a bad day, and you're talking about Megalania prisca or Varanus prisca, I think their new name is. A lizard the size of a crocodile, probably run you down on dry land. So we had some amazing animals here. And it's easy to go, oh, it's the Ice Age. It was a long time ago. But yeah, people were here, you know, trying to catch gigantic wombats. Did well to be here, us humans. Yeah, it's sort of amazing we managed to come out on top, isn't it? We got no claws, no fur, pretty terrible hearing and eyesight. It's just everything between our ears and the fact we got thumbs that move. I think that's the only reason we managed to survive. What do you reckon, Boo? We can't all just do on the fact we're adorable. Oh, big scratch. So what's everybody else up to today out there? Like I said, I'm worried I picked a bit of a bad time, but if you've seen, we've tried to do a couple of lives, either on our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel lately. The issue is it just gets dark so early these days. It's dark at you know, 20 past 5, 5:30. Yeah, Boo is getting very big. So yeah, I sort of managed to get 15 minutes of live stream in, and then it gets too dark and you guys can't see me, and I don't want you wasting your time on that. But yeah, Boo's gotten very big. I should weigh, she'd be every bit of 22 kilos these days. And I was just looking through our old videos. The video of we did when Boo first arrived and moved into enclosure will be 12 months old in like 3 or 4 weeks. So she's been here for pretty much a year now. Hi, Bubba. Looking for an escaped snake. I hope it. Did you find it? Oh, let me bring that up. I missed the end of that comment. Frida's looking for escapee snake. Oh, they're terrible escapee snakes. I haven't had one for quite a while, but I answer a few phone calls where, you know, Facebook's full of them. People missing a snake and they want to know where it's likely to be in the house and things like that. No, little Apani. Which one's Apani? I've got to admit, I'm not up to date with your videos, Go. I've just had no time. It's been crazy, but I know how much you love all your snakes, so you must be one distraught snake mother. I hope he turns up for you. He, she. Yeah, we're still in the process of finishing off our reptile shed. We've got the area for the slab cleared. We've got the shed purchased. We've just got to lay the concrete slab, but it's going to cost us a couple of $1,000s. But it's going to do a couple of things. It's going to mean the reptiles can all move into a purpose-built facility. It's going to be a lot more efficient as far as heating goes. It's going to be close to the house, which does 2 things. Little spotted python. Ooh. Hopefully you find him. Hopefully he hasn't got out anywhere. But yeah, this shed's going to do a couple of things. Being closer to the house means that it's going to be a lot easier for me to clean and feed and stuff rather than walking to the end of the property to our current shed. And we're on 100 acres, so the end of the property is a bit of a hike. Hard to find, I'll tell you, yeah. I bet fair few snake catchers in Melbourne catch pythons every year, where it's obviously gotten from the neighbours to theirs, or, you know, down the street sort of thing. So hopefully it's still in the house somewhere. The other big benefit of having this shed so close to the house once it's finished is we're pretty limited in internet reception. So I don't only do live videos in the wombat pen because it's easy and because she's adorable. it's because we got good reception here. Whereas down the reptile shed, there's pretty ratty phone reception. And that's a bad thing for two reasons. It's a safety hazard. I work with venomous snakes every single day in there. So I'd like to not have to walk, 100 meters to good phone reception. Thanks, Shannon. But just as importantly for you guys, we'd really like to be able to set up a bit of a studio and do live streams in the reptile shed. I don't think we're going to go into the cleaning and feeding and stuff, like how to care for animals, only because other channels do that really well. Nathan from Australian Pythons and Other Reptiles, we did a video with this week on his experiences being bitten by a taipan. He does some amazing enclosures, and I know he's scaled back his channel a lot, but he's told me he's going to be bringing out a lot more how to build enclosures, and he decks them out with, fake rock and artificial plants and live plants and all sorts. Jake at Aussie Reptiles with a Z, Coops Reptiles, all these channels, they do the husbandry so well. I don't think I'll get into that. I like the biology and conservation and sort of natural history. But there's no reason why we couldn't, if I'm doing a live stream and happen to be feeding somebody, we can have a look. An excellent video. Glad you liked it. Yeah, it took us a while. I'm not a very technological person, and neither's Nathan. So to get the two of us to film our own parts, get them sent to the same computer and edit them all together, it's been 2 months in the making. So yeah, videos are a bit more. I used to just film. I don't know if any of you guys watched my very, very early videos. It used to be 6 to 10 minutes of me staring at a camera talking. We're trying our best to make them more engaging and put some, pretty B-roll in there and that sort of stuff. But yeah, I suppose having the reptile shed close to the house, phone reception, better safety, means we can do some live streams and, we might be able to feed and clean some animals and stuff while you guys are chatting or while I'm waiting for people to rock up on our live streams, because I'd like to do more live streams. It's just hard because half of you guys are in Australia and a couple of you guys are in the United States. I know we've got a couple of British and Canadian fans and followers. Will be good. Yeah, it will be good. It'll probably start off with a lot of tub racks and stuff when we first build it for the smaller stuff, just so I can get everything in there. Because the current enclosures are pretty much all going, and we're going to be building new wooden vivariums. So the tub racks will be a good middle ground for now. For some things, tub racks just aren't an option. But yeah, should be good. And yeah, I'm glad. Who is it? Kitty cat. Yeah, I'm glad people like the live streams. Like I said, the hard thing is just trying to find a time that does them. I imagine this time there will be a couple of people from the States, but it'll be the middle of the night for you. You won't remember anything I say. Have you had enough grass? Be great enclosures. Yeah, I'm not necessarily against tubs, and I'm not against enclosures. I'm against extremes at both ends, I suppose. If somebody, you can have a 4-foot enclosure that's bland with nothing to hide in. It's not necessarily as good as a tub. You can have a tub the same, no hide. Yeah, I've still got a couple of crocs. I'm actually looking for a third one at the moment. We're starting to get more bookings, and I'm very, very cautious about not overusing crocodiles. I don't tape up my crocs when they've got a food in their belly. If they regurgitated something, they'll choke. And it means that, a croc does a show and he might have a couple of days before he can do another show, which was fine when we were doing 1 or 2 shows, a couple of shows a month. We're now got a couple of shows a week, so I'm probably needing another couple of crocs in the future. Hey, boo. But yeah, so as far as what times to do our live streams is the tricky thing, because, I feel bad if I do them 7 in the morning, because all, the Australians who are so kind to subscribe to us. Do you want to have more grass, or have you finished? All everybody who subscribes to us from Australia, I don't want you to miss out, but I also put one of these up, and then I get a bunch of comments from people like, damn, I missed your live stream. So, yeah. I don't know. What time suits everybody else to be doing these, wherever you are in the world? Hey, Bobo. Boo doesn't care what time. She just wants to cuddle. Oh, I'm a big tough wombat. Yeah, that's me. So yeah, your enclosures are obviously amazing. Okay. And then I've seen people with tubs who, very bland tubs. I've seen people with enclosures who are not amazing, and I've seen people with tubs who basically deck out a tub as an enclosure. You know, they've still got hides and plants and stuff. They're just using a plastic medium rather than a wooden medium. So I think you can do both well and you can do both poorly. I do think certain species just simply need more space than tubs can provide. You know, you see certain reptile keepers in the YouTube sphere keeping reticulated pythons and stuff in big plastic tubs, and it's easy, particularly for pythons. People seem to say, well, pythons never move, and it's not true. They might not move during the day, but you know, when I used to live in North Queensland, you'd see pythons crossing the roads every night. So they're just doing their movement at a time when we're not really seeing that happening. You all right? See you, Boo. Don't tip that over. Ooh. Yeah, that's it. You know, they're pretty active. They're more active than people think. I suppose the eternal debate, people who say that they don't need space will be like, well, they're not active if they don't need to be. But I don't know. I've moved my diamonds and Murray darlings outdoors in the right time of year, and this coming year, once it warms up again, we're going to be moving quite a few snakes outdoors. And I'll tell you what, you know, you might not see them at all during the day. Being outdoors, they sort of go back to being wild snakes. But you come out on a warm night and they're everywhere, cruising around, exploring the enclosure, doing what wild snakes do. It'd be like no different to, I was having a discussion with somebody who sells tubs, and he thinks that venomous snakes shouldn't be kept in tubs. And his argument was that they move around during the day. And I said, well, yeah, but they don't move around at night. So if you're saying pythons are okay because they move around at night, not during the day, you know, all animals are going to move around to an extent. We've got to allow that. You right? Got a wombat on our lap. What's up here? Well, yeah, I'll get off my high horse about tubs, I suppose, but who else are we still talking to? Is it just me jabbering on? You do what you need to do. Oh, yeah, I'll try and do what I need to do. But I suppose, you know, you guys are kind enough to... Thank you to Sammy for the happy birthday. You know, you guys are kind enough to 3 a.m. milk drink. I'm sorry to wake you up, Thessalon. You all right? You guys are kind enough to put in the time and, you know, to subscribe to me and watch me. Some of you, you know, are so generous that you go on to support us on Patreon. I want to be able to do the best I can. We'd like to do, you know, Patreon only videos for those people at some point in time. But currently, you know, we've got 7 people. If I do one for patrons only, we might be just talking to one person. So as we grow, we'll do that as well. You know, also, the more time that I can afford to spend away from our other job on the farm, the more time we can... Don't eat the camera. More time we can upset tummy. Oh, I get you. I don't know how long you've been watching, but 6 months ago, we had a couple of weeks off because I was in and out of hospital with tummy issues. It's terrible. Somebody was calling me before. Yeah, I hope your guts feel better for you, Thessalon. You just want to run around. You're like, I've had my grass. Yeah. The back. Yeah, so somebody's trying to call me. Sorry about the freezing and whatnot. I don't know if it freezes. Yeah, I'm back. Back, hello. It might freeze again if people try and call me again. But I can't put the phone on airplane mode. Normally when I film my videos, I put the phone on airplane mode so that I don't get disrupted during the video, somebody calling. But if I put it on airplane mode, I don't have internet reception. I can't talk to you blokes. So you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. I forgot what I was talking about. But yeah, Thessalon, I hope your tummy feels okay, and thank you for chiming in. Yeah, what you were saying, do what suits best for me. That's, at the end of the day, it's got to work. But I feel like you guys put as much in as I do. You know, you're kind enough to watch this. Hopefully, you know, you're sharing videos with your friends and stuff, and you've got to be, I suppose, because we're growing. getting pretty close to 4,800 subscribers these days. So I'm starting to catch up to some of the people I really look up to as other Australian channels. Didn't anybody ever say don't sit in your breakfast? So yeah, there we go. Who else is still out there now that it's cut in and out a couple of times? Mine love to come out and climb around the place. Yes, I guess out in the wild they hide away till night time. Yeah, you know, like your snakes, obviously as much as it, probably more than anybody else, are so, I think, confident and used to their environment because they're so sort of gently exposed that they're a lot more confident than a wild snake would be. Mine, I suppose, are a different kettle of fish again. Mine, we push them, you know, so much with what we do, just to be able to take them out to shows and schools and take them out into other places. Sometimes I think the best, if I was them, I'd like to be left alone for the day. So the time that I put into, if I've got a snake out and about just hanging around for no reason, it's usually a snake that I've been given because he needs a home and he needs to be worked on before he's going to be good enough for show. Before he's going to be good enough for shows. The guys who are on shows already, I figure they probably get more stimulation than they need. And their enclosures are nice enough. Yeah, you know, so every situation is going to be slightly different. You know, some breeders' snakes, I suppose, they're essentially wild snakes, aren't they? They don't get handled other than taking them out to clean and feed. And I don't know, from my point of view, I look at that and be like, well, why bother keeping them? But the flip side is the ones out in the wild are going through that. They're happy. As long as, you know, they've got everything they need. Boo reminds you of your cats. Do you have a 22-kilo cat that digs holes in the backyard and eats carrots? I think she reminds me of either an overfed guinea pig or a hairy potato. Yeah, if I had to, I've often told people if you've bought a pet guinea pig, crossed it with an angry toddler and fed it too much, you'd end up with a wombat. Yeah, I said that about you. What of it? Oh, big wombat smooches. So yeah, sorry that's a bit casual today, guys, sort of thing, but like I said, I was at this seminar all day about business, boring stuff, and because we finished early, I thought I can do a live stream while it's still light. Yeah, well, yeah, that's it. You know, if I'm going to spend time with that animal, Boo actually pines without me, I suppose, so it's going to be time with Boo. Somebody was asking what do we do with the animals when I'm away. I'm not usually away. This trip to Darwin will be the first time in 6 years that I have been away from my animals for more than 48 hours. So, you know, often I'm away for a day because I drive out 4 or 5 hours away to do a show. I'll camp the night and drive back. But don't fall over onto the camera. But yeah, this coming in 2 weeks' time, we're going to be away for 7 days, which will be the longest time I've ever been away from my animals. All the dogs know that I'm home. I've managed to sneak away with it this long. Yeah, I'm very nervous about going away. I've got a couple of good friends. Luckily, it's winter time, so most of my reptiles are asleep. I've just got somebody to come and check that their water bowls are full and stuff like that. But 7 days, nobody needs to be fed over 7 days. And all the fluffy stuff, I've got some people coming over to do the feeding every day. I'm going to spend a whole night cutting up food and putting in little packets for each day. So all they've got to do is come and put out the appropriate food. Boo will probably get fed over the fence, the dingo. I'm just going to have them over here a day or two beforehand and run them through some protocol to not let the dingo out, because you'd never get him back. Well, nobody else would get him back, and I'll be the other end of the country. And the possums and things, just to be careful around doors. And Leather would be frantic if I had an overnight hospital stay. Yeah, I suppose that's one flip side with my animals. They're very used to me, obviously, but I often wonder the fact that they get passed around so much. My animals are probably more adjusted to strangers than any animals you'll ever meet. Doesn't mean I'm willing to trust strangers with them. We've been suggested that we need to start a volunteer program just to keep up with the cleaning and feeding and all that, and let us have a bit of a life, which I've always been like, no, I'll do it myself. Once this new reptile shed comes in, I think we'll probably look at taking on a couple. Thank you, MJ. I think we'll look at taking on a couple of volunteers. Just so, I suppose, in case of emergencies, it means that if something happened to me, or if we do have to go away for a couple of days, we've got a couple of people who at least have a basic understanding of all the animals we have, who needs what, can keep the ball rolling. But the reason we're waiting for this new reptile shed is obviously I keep a lot of venomous snakes, so we can have one bank of venomous stuff with a separate set of locks to everything else. I want to say my dogs won't eat Daryl. Yeah, the dingo is probably the one animal I've got who have to be very, very careful. He's back. Yeah, the dingo's one animal I've got. He's very, very wary of strangers. He actually did shows for a living when he was a puppy, but when he was about 8 months old, I went working out the mines in central Queensland. So for 21 days at a time, some girls that I were friends with was looking after him. And they looked after him very, very well, but it meant when I come home for a week, I was so tired, me and the dingo just hang out on the couch. Thank you, Righteous Reptiles. Oh, you're, come to Oz and get a, mate, if you come to Oz, I might even spare you my Cooper. I'm half tempted to write a letter. It's actually, I fixed it up the other day. It's looking a lot better. It used to flop over my face. But, I've been half tempted to write into a Cooper and say, look, I've done 200 videos with your hat. You should shout me one. You come to Australia, we'll sort you out in a Cooper. We can do some videos together. You are the Righteous Reptiles in South Africa, right? I was watching your video on your new reptile room. Looks very cool. Guys, if you haven't, check him out. What was I saying? I agree. Ask them. Yeah. I suppose I don't have any sponsorships or anything. Maybe a Cooper would be a good place to start. I've got a wombat hiding behind me somewhere. Ooh. Plop. Yeah, the grass is still there. Yeah, South Africa. I really enjoy your videos, mate. They look fantastic. So yeah, I'd love to visit South Africa. You and Dingo Dinkelman would be two people on my list to go and have a look at. I was talking to Dingo the other day about when he was filming this Papuan taipan, just fact-checking some things and stuff. So you got some cool animals over there. Yeah, you're right. There you go. We've probably got the same set of fans, mate. I have enough trouble getting folk to look after my reptiles on the way for more than a couple of days. Yeah, the drama isn't necessarily getting people, it's weeding through people. You know, if I put up you could imagine if I put a post up on our Facebook page that we need somebody to look after my animals for a few days, 200 people would be like, we'll do it, we'll babysit. And then you say, look guys, you've got to change the water bowls in. We got 4 taipans at the moment. So, you know, it's not something we can just pick a 16-year-old kid who wants to do some cleaning after school. And so, yeah, the fact we're going away this time of year specifically because it's winter. So it means that all the reptiles are the lowest maintenance they'll be for the whole year. I know you'd do it, Gay, but you're a long way away. You'd be mad to come down here during winter. Your North Queensland blood wouldn't handle it. My Victorian blood barely handles it. What? Dingo's a great place. We can go to his place together. Yeah, he's mentioned that he might be coming to Australia next year, so it'd be good to actually catch up with him. He was kind enough to let me steal some footage of his to do our Black Mamba video. But yeah, it'd be fantastic. I've never been to I've never been anywhere in Africa, for that matter. I'd freeze. Love to do. I do love the cold. Oh, I'm sick of cutting firewood every second day. Good morning from the States. G'day, how are you? We got 10 people out there still. I'm not as boring as I thought. And Boo's still chatting away. Check it out, where you going? Little black field cricket. Hopping around here somewhere. Look at him. Thought crickets were finished for the season. For those of you who don't know, we're down the bottom end of the country. We only get crickets for 6 months a year. It gets so cold, the crickets die off. They lay their last set of eggs. We call them diapause eggs because normally their eggs take 21 days to hatch, and they just keep hatching in these big cycles. But because it gets so cold down here, at the end of sort of in autumn, the crickets lay these diapause eggs, which start developing and they stop and they overwinter so that the species continues next year. So that poor little fella didn't get the message. He's not going to grow to adulthood. We're getting some frost in the next few days. He'll be a frozen cricket. Watch Dingo and love his channel. You did the taipan. Yeah. So Dingo did a video on, who's the more dangerous snake, the inland taipan or the black mamba. And one of the most, there was 60 people comment in the comment section on his channel, well, the coastal taipan would be a better comparison. So we keep coastal taipans and inland taipans. So I did a video on sort of all three, the coastal taipan / Papuan taipan. We made them one. The inland taipan and the black mamba. And in the end, we both came to the same sort of answer, I suppose, that from a handler's perspective, if you're hanging on to the end of one or the other, I think the mamba would be a much more technical snake to handle. That being said, the taipans that I use for shows and the taipan that Dingo filmed with today were both very cruisy individuals. I used to look after a coastal taipan who came from venom supplies in South Australia. Righteous reptiles, you got me thinking about Africa now. So for 10 years of this snake's life, he was, once a week, pinned, head restraint, forced to bite a jar. It sounds horrible, but it's got to happen. If we don't do this, we don't have antivenin, people die, and the more people die of snake bite, the more people want to get rid of snakes. But it was a pretty hard life for this snake, and he was given to us at a zoo I worked at, and we had 5 coastal taipans at the time, and this snake was the hardest snake I've ever had to handle. All he wanted to do was bite, and I'm pretty sure it's because after years and years of being pinned and head restraint and forced to bite a jar, he knew something bad was coming, and he'd curl himself into like a ball, looks like a viper with his mouth open. So you'd have to hook him and stretch him out. You couldn't just go and tail him like you could with the others. Yeah, both the Skitsy snakes, it's just, the main thing, which I wish I had a covered on, is the mamba's arboreality. The fact that it climbs so much better, from a handler's perspective, means it can come up on itself probably quicker than the taipan. But, I've had a few experiences handling taipans where, they go whistling past your ear. Oh, did I give you a fright? Did I give you a fright? So yeah, they're certainly not snakes to be messed with. And Dingo puts it perfectly. You're comparing jumping off an 80-story building versus a 100-story building. Either way, you're a red mark on the ground, aren't you? It doesn't really make a difference. But we both agreed from a handler's perspective, I think the mamba comes out on top. But that being said, neither of them become an example of in the wild. In the wild, just a pure numbers game, the coastal taipan, or the Papuan taipan, kills more people. The Papuan taipan accounts for about 85% of snakebite in New Guinea, so it kills about 500 people a year. That's Australia combined is 3 people die a year, and we've got the coastal taipan here. The major thing that makes a snake dangerous or not dangerous is going to be the human factor, as always. So the more people around a snake, the less, I suppose, learning and experience people have around the snakes. Cultures like Papua New Guinea, people still rely on tribal medicine before going to the doctor. They miss that golden hour where antivenin's really helpful, and they come to hospital and it's too late. And unfortunately, a lot of people die for it. So yeah, the human factor, and just the more people that are around them. It's why India, the big 4, the Russell's viper, the saw-scaled viper, the Asian cobra, and the Indian crate kill 50,000 people a year. All of our snakes, vast majority of the top 10, kill 3 people a year. And it's just because there's 1 billion people living in India. Look at the saw-scaled viper alone. That kills 40,000 people around the world, but it's found all over India, all through Pakistan, all through North Africa. There's at least 2 billion people living in the saw-scaled viper's range. It's not that he's an 8-foot-long nasty snake that spits balls of fire out his eyes and bolts of lightning out his butt. It's just that he lives where a lot of people live. More people are going to get bitten by him. Inland taipan, most venomous snake on earth, never bitten anybody in the wild. What's my favourite taipan? I've got to say, I probably like inlands. I like the fact they change colour through the seasons. They maybe keep you on your toes a little bit more because they're so cruisy, but they can go 100 to 0 to 100 really quick. I've got coastal taipans who they keep you on your toes because they're always sketchy, you know. But yeah, I like our inland slug. She's a big girl. She actually bit her last owner. He spent 11 days in hospital on kidney dialysis and things. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I might wrap things up there. I've got to go pick up the little tacker and finish feeding some animals. But thank you guys all for stopping by. Half of you is watching Righteous Reptiles and Gotta Love Carpet Pythons. You have your own channels. So once this goes up as a regular video, check each other's channels out. If you all watch me, you'll all enjoy each other's videos, and that's what it's all about. The more of us that care, the more of a difference we can make. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. Check us out on Patreon if you feel like helping us out and making our videos come out more regularly and whatnot. But yeah, be nice to wildlife. Have a good one and take care. Hey, boo.